Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. I'm round at my friend's mum's house and she's got a Berberis that she doesn't want, so it's Urban Yamadori time. I've got no experience with Berberis, but looks like it's got some decent structure to it at the base. There's a flag here that the plant's almost growing on top of, which I'll just lift. That'll give me access to the roots. And there's another one next to it. I'll do the same with that. Obviously, this is Urban Yamadori, so you don't have to deal with flags in nature. But at least that gives me space to dig around, because I'd like to get quite a lot of the roots up if possible. I'm just thinking, before I start digging, should I cut some of this tree back? I don't really know how much I can get away with taking off a Berberis. Ideally, I'd like to cut it right back down here, but if I do that, I don't know if it'll survive. I think I'll decide after I've dug it up. So I'll start off just chopping down like that. So I'm about 12 inches from the bottom of the tree, and the spade's going in easily, which means there's no thick lateral roots spreading out. I presume they've gone more down. See, I hit something there and I just went right under it. The whole plant's moving already there when I dig that, which is fantastic. Hopefully, as I move around, and get the rest of it cut like that, it just comes out in one big lump, and that'll then allow me to hopefully make my decisions in terms of what I get rid of once it's out of the ground. See, there's something very solid at the back there. There. Well, you can't argue with that. How easy was that? Well, it's not out yet, but... So I've gone in the front there, and I'm just really levering that up, cranking on it. There. I think I just need to get around this, get something around this back edge. I suspect there's a root holding it. If I can just get down here with this one. I think there's something. I think I've probably hit. Oh, that's gone in there. Lovely. So as I pull the plant to the back here, it seems to be all loose around here, but this back edge, there's, looks like there's that root there. Did you hear it? I think I just went through it. Oh, there's another here, I think. Yeah. Got it. you'll have to excuse me heavy breathing. Although there might be some people out there who like it, you know, each to their own. I've moved the camera now so you've got a view of me pulling it out. And here we go. There. So that's come out with a big lump of soil. Next thing to do is to get rid of some of the soil. And I'll switch tools for this. So I've got my small hand pick. And for this part of collecting, I love it. It just allows you to just work some of the soil out, really. Looks like we've got plenty of good roots there. You can see them here. They look great. And it's so heavy, this, with all this soil on it. I definitely need to get rid of some of it. Earlier this year I watched the video by Bonsai Ryan Neal, and he did a bit of Urban Yamadori where he collected some big tree bush thing from in his grounds that had been planted there. It'd been in the ground for quite a few years, and he was basically just collecting it, getting it on its way. So if you get the opportunity for this kind of collection, I highly recommend it. What's that there? Oh, that's just a sucker. I thought it might have been a small... Oh, it is. What's that? It's a small seedling. I don't think it's the same variety as this though. I might plant that. Now, the main base of this tree obviously is in here, and it's a multi-trunk clump style. But there almost seems to be something else over here. This could be a second plant. It looks dead, but if I can get that out, that'll be good. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, that looks like some kind of Cotoneaster actually. That might make it. It's got some roots on it. All the stuff I can take away like that all obviously reduces the weight, which is very handy. So I've got to get this back home. And if I go and look underneath like this, it's mainly in sand. Very, very nice drainage under there. So by just knocking this base, you can see I've already got a very, very flat base, which is perfect for bonsai purposes. Now, I'm not having to cut any major roots off. No, it's already, half the work's already done for me. One of the beauties of Urban Yamadori is that you don't generally have to walk far with it. I've only got to carry it 30 yards to my car. That's most of that soil off. Very little root loss. And I can make more precise decisions on this sort of when I get home. I'm home, and you know I mean business when the peppermint tea is out. Let's have a closer look at this tree now anyway. So here's the basic structure of the tree. That's gone. Obviously It's in a kind of clump style. This section round here is the main tree. And as I said when I was digging it up, we've got some others at the back that don't seem to really be part of this sort of design. So I'm going to try and get rid of those now. We've got this branch here. It seems loose compared to the others. It doesn't seem to be part of that clump. So I'm actually going to try and pull this out. I'll get my root hook. This is alive and it's got some healthy growth on it. So ideally I would like to keep this alive and separate it off as a separate tree. And I don't see why I can't. So I'll just sort of scrape away some of the soil to hopefully sort of somehow disentangle it. But I can see, oh, it's there. So if I can get that up there, that's it. That's come out. It's got some root on it. You know. Will that survive? I don't know, but I'm going to give it a try. I'll put that to one side for the moment. And now it's back to this main clump. This is the second sort of part of the bush that, again, doesn't really seem like it's part of this composition to the right. So I'll just move that brick out of the way. And this might be connected via a proper route. I hope not. I hope it can just sort of slide out in the same way that the first one did. I'm just going to give it a pull. Go on. There. So that's come out with some really nice roots on it. There's no leaves or anything on this, but I'm going to get that planted up anyway, because why not? Give it a chance. It's got quite a nice thick base, and if it lives, that could be quite a nice plant. So I'll just put that in some water, and that now leaves me with this main group. Obviously the soil's piled around the base of it, so I would like to just do a little bit of an investigation just to see what this base looks like. And I think this could have some potential as a really nice little clump style. It's a bit twisted in here, but we can deal with that at a later date. I'm going to turn it round so we can see this side. This branch here is dead, so that'll need removing at some point. But again, round this side, it looks good. I want to just remove some of this soil from the base so it doesn't rot the trunks away. And I think the best thing I can do now is clean these edges up. And then pot it. So I'll just do some clean cuts on some of these roots that are sticking out. few of these roots are loose because they're not actually attached to this, they were attached to those pieces I pulled out. And I'm trying to cut them on a downward facing angle if I can to go on. That's too much for me, that I can't cut it with one hand. There, got it. Look at the inside, the colour of that. Bright yellow, whereas the other ones are white. I don't know what that means. If anyone out there watching this knows what that means, and you could let me know, that'd be fantastic. I'm always looking to learn about bonsai. See, they are yellow again. Some of them are yellow, some of them are white. And I don't know what that means. So as I rotate this round, just cutting some of those branches off, and that's now of a size that I can get it into some sort of pot. So I'll see what I've got. Before I pot this up, it's just too big. It's definitely too big for me to put into a pot sort of at this size. So I think I need to trim it. And what I'm going to do is, I won't completely hack it down to where I want to hack it down to, but I'll just remove some of this foliage up at the top. I put it down on the floor just to make it easier for you to see. So like a branch like that, I'm just going to cut it down and just not go to where I'd like to go to, as I said, but just remove some of this bulk. It's just too massive, it's too top heavy, and I just wouldn't be able to successfully get this into a pot. So I'll just prune this down like this. Now, for anyone who is wondering what particular species this is, I believe it's Berberis darwini. Seems really nice. The leaves are kind of like a small holly. I think it could look good as a bonsai. And I'm just working my way through it, taking it down. These Berberis are used as hedging material. So, as I've said before, anything which is used as hedging material is generally good for bonsai, because you can hack it at multiple times of year and it'll just respond by back budding and growing new shoots and sending out new leaves and stuff. So it's not like dealing with a pine tree or, you know, something like that. These are tough as old boots, these things like this. I mean, as I said, I don't know this species, but it looks like holly. And I know holly's absolutely rock solid tough. You can do what you want with holly. And that's just bringing the foliar mass down. You can tell I've been watching Bonsai Mirai when I start using phrases like foliar mass. I take the mickey, but it's a fantastic channel. Right, that's doing well. Seeming like it's a bit more of a size that I could get into a pot. Now, obviously it's not going into a bonsai pot, and I'm not specifically making a wooden box for it. That would be the best scenario. I think I've got a big plastic tub with a dead dead juniper in it that may as well be repurposed for this. I often ask people who are watching, you know, if you've got any experience with these plants, to let me know your suggestions, what I can get away with. And what I'd like to know is, in the spring with this, will I be able to completely hack it back right down to the bed, you know, about, say, 10 inches up from the base. I'd like to cut all these branches off and completely start again. Will I be able to get away with that with this plant? Unless I'm told, you know, that'll definitely kill it, then that's what I'm doing anyway. But I'd still like to hear your experience of working with this type of plant. And I think, from what research I've done, I think in America they call it a barberry, and in England we call it a Berberis. I think that's the same plant. I know the Americans love their alternative pronunciations, which is fair enough. I use a few myself, like aluminum. I don't like saying aluminium. It's just a nuisance of a word, isn't it? Aluminium. I like to say aluminum. Aluminum wire. Excellent. So that's a bit more manageable now. And there's plenty of leaf left on it to hopefully allow this to put some roots down in the next couple of weeks. So let's get that in a pot. I've had a think, and if I can get it into a washing up tub, that'd be great. You know, the roots need to come down at some time, and you know, in some ways, if you're going to get them down, you may as well get them down now. Why wait? So there's not as many roots on this side, so I'm going to kind of leave those now. Put it over like that. I'll just put a brick underneath just to support them there. So if those roots are there, I can basically now just go around cutting these roots into the profile of the tub. So it's quite a lot here. Yeah, there's going to be a significant amount coming off, but as I say, if I ever want to get it into a small bonsai pot in the future, in some ways, well, in many ways, it's better to do this work now than to have to start doing this work in 3 or 4 years' time. So there we go. That's revealed all these roots here. I can just cut off. Will they go in now? Ooh, that's getting very close. Take the brick out. See, there it goes in. quite snug. Cut some of the roots off at the back, but basically there, she's in. Oh, I think that could work out well. Just one question that I do have is this twisting branch here I do not like. So I'm wondering if I can untwist it now by pulling it. Pulling it out like this. Now that's one way of doing it. What problem, branch? I don't know what you're talking about. And actually, this whole branch there isn't the best. I'll just get rid of that. It's getting on my nerves. That's dead. There we go. Yes. Far better. So we've got some potential there now. Ideally, I would like this one to sort of come around the front here. But what I'm thinking now is, now that I've done that, is it better as this kind of group planting like that? Or would these three at the back just be superior on their own? Just as like a line of 3 trees. I really like the idea of that. In which case, I would just remove these ones, which I think I can do. So I'm not as bothered about these, so I'll just cut that off. Same with this. I'll get rid of those. And now, oh look, that just came off, nice. That'll go in the pile with the other ones to be planted individually. So I'm going to have quite a few separate plants, which is always good. This one's coming out. This one seemed to be kind of rotted at the bottom, so I suppose it's got a chance. I'll give it a go and plant it. And then this one, this one's coming away with that one. Right, so we've got 2 there now. I really like this as an individual tree, this one. I really like that. It's got some great shape. Yeah, I'm happy that I did that. I'll get the big clump out of the way. Pull that off there. Oh yeah, I like that. So this can grow as a tree in its own right, like that. It's got some great taper. Yeah, so I'll plant that on its own. And this can go in this tub here. And how I deal with this in the future, I don't know. But what I'll do now is I'll just get some soil, get some bonsai soil into this tub and get that planted and wired in. Just before potting this up, I had a couple of crossed branches, so I tried to uncross them, and as I did, I've ended up splitting it into 2. And I'm not really bothered again, because I think individually, I think they make nice trees. And I'm not against the idea of growing these now for a couple of years as individual trees and then potentially putting them back together as a group planting, all of them, but planting them as I want them to be, not as kind of twisted up and awkward. So that's fine. I'll put this one in here, I think, and get these other ones in different pots. And so the saga continues. I was just cleaning up these two, the two thicker ones, you know, cleaning the roots and stuff, and I thought, you know, they have to go together, these two. So what I think I'm going to do is combine them in this bowl. I put some soil in, I put 3 pieces of wire in to hold them, and I'm just going to try to somehow combine them, but it's going to be in a different way to the way they were originally. So I quite like them with the small trunks in the centre and the 2 larger trunks on the outside, like that, almost like a small copse. That's kind of how it kind of seems to me. Now what I need to do, that one's fine, but these roots on this side are just a bit long for the pot. So if I can just take those down there. And there's not much root left on that, to be fair, so it's never ideal going mental on a tree like this at this time of year, but I just get carried away, and I want them to be right in the long run, otherwise I'll just end up with trees that I'm not fundamentally happy with. So what I like is I want this tree to fit in this gap here. So this, if I can cut that root there right back like that, it's going to give a nice space for this one to sit in like that. Like that. So I quite like that. I think that works quite well. Bed them down. They're in sort of the centre of the pot, and they're both at equal heights. So once I've done that, I can fill him around the edge. I'm having to hold them with one hand as I fill it, but now I can get it up and get some of that in. There we go. That's better. I think they're sitting together quite nicely there. I'm really happy with that. What I'm praying for now is some nice mild weather for the next month, and not a really cold winter. I think I'll wrap a piece of wire around the 2 trees to hold them together. That makes sense, to stop them just splaying apart. So if I take it around like that and just twist them like that, that kind of holds them in sort of position there. That's much better. I can then add more soil. So this is very much, it's not considered deeply considered planned out bonsai. This is sort of making it up as I go. I'll start off with pulling these side wires down there. I'll tighten those up with pliers in a bit. Right, so I've cut up a couple of pieces of wire, and what I'll do is I'll thread it up there and thread this one here like that, and do the same thing on this side. So we've basically got 4 kind of anchors now, and what I'll do is I'll just tie this one round here like that, this one round here like that, so you can put a bit of tension on. Because they're attached in the centre. This one I'll put round here, pull this one back that way like that, get some pliers on that one just to give it a bit of a better pull. There we go, that's that one done. And then finally this one can, yeah, I'll put this one around here like that. So that tree now is really solid in there. It's a bit of a mess, I'll give you that. It doesn't look very neat. I certainly don't think it's ready for the for a bonsai exhibition. Imagine that. Some people would have a fit. But I'm really happy. I'm very happy with the structure of the 3 central branches, the smaller branches in the centre, this medium size, and then the 2 larger ones coming out to the side. I think that works really well. All it needs now is a bit more bonsai soil in there. Give that a water and cross my fingers, really, and hope that it makes it. I'm really just hoping that it's a really tough plant that can do well and pull through, because if it does, there's potential there for a really nice bonsai. So this is the second tree I potted up, and I think it's quite nice. I think it's got a sort of literati style. I don't know what I'll end up doing up at the top here. Probably some of that will have to be removed. But yeah, I think that's quite nice. In an original Tony's bonsai pot. And I had no idea what to do with this last 3, so I've just stuck them in some soil in a washing up bowl and just see if they make it. The very last one, the worst of the lot, this is the classic stump, but I thought it was worth potting up, and you know, nothing to lose. See if it survives and does anything next spring. I really enjoyed that. I always love a bit of Urban Yamadori. If you'd like to follow the progress of these trees and see if they do make it next year, and in fact beyond that, see whether they develop into decent bonsai and potential bonsai, you know what to do. Other than that, as always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.